It's just after the Christmas break, and we're nearing the midpoint of the NHL season. So Joe and I had a little segment planned for today's video called "Over or Under Reaction." So Joe, for this segment, I'm gonna throw some statements at you for certain NHL teams, and you're gonna say if it's an over or under reaction. Are you
Okay.
ready?
Oh, I'm ready. Let's go.
All right. So first statement: the Detroit Red Wings will miss the playoffs.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I know.
go. I'm gonna go. They will. I don't think that's an overreaction at all.
You don't? I
Yeah.
don't either. Why do you say that though?
Well, I mean, so they signed Patrick Kane. We thought that would kind of change things around. They were 14-7-3 before they got him, and now with him in the lineup, surprisingly they've dropped 8 of the 10 games with him. I know a lot of things happened there with the Dylan Larkin injury, and then Perron got suspended.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Red Wings are kind of reeling right now. So I don't know. Is the 10-game sample size with Patrick Kane enough to kind of assess what's been going on with the team since they've acquired him? I mean, the other thing to also consider is the amount of competition in the Eastern Conference. I mean, there's a lot of good teams, so
And the
they're also going to have to leapfrog.
well.
Yeah, exactly. So for me, I don't think it's an overreaction at all, and I think they're probably going to miss the playoffs.
I don't either. I think they will miss the playoffs. Yes, I mean they came out the gate rolling, right? Look, it's obviously unfair to blame Patrick Kane for the last 10 games. They're 2-7-1, right?
Yeah,
I think he even has 10 points in 10 games, and like you said, the injury to Dylan Larkin, that's scary. That's a scary moment, right? Thank God he's okay. Perron as well. But in those last 10 games, they lost to the likes of the Sens, the Sharks, and the Ducks. So I mean, those are teams that you need to be beating, right? Those are
yeah,
important points. They also just, Ville Husso just got injured on December 18th. Alex Leon is injured. Jeff Petrie just got injured. Oli Mata
yeah.
is injured. So, I mean, right now they're stuck with an aging James Reimer in nets. And honestly, I don't know if their defense is good enough. I know they have Moritz Seider and, the likes of Ben Sherratt, who I know very well, being a Habs fan. But no, I think they'll miss the playoffs, actually.
Yeah, well, they started off really hot, so I don't know. Was that maybe a kind of a fluke? They kind of, everyone was on board. They, like I said, they were 14-7-3 before they got Patrick Kane. So
Yeah.
they also had the Brink guy was also playing out of his mind. So they had some guys that were also, kind of ripping it, playing above maybe their normal expectations. So
Exactly. So, I don't know if they could outscore their problems, such as, a team like the Oilers, right?
yeah.
All right. So, next statement, Joe. The Toronto Maple Leafs will win the division.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is gonna hurt to say.
For
Johnny,
me too. I know. Is it
I,
over or under reaction?
I think the Leafs are going to win that division. I really do. Like the
What?
Bruins are kind of starting to sputter a little, and maybe they're coming back down to earth because they were continuing off from where they left off last year, and they lost guys like Patrice Bergeron and David Krejci. Yeah, the Leafs are playing some pretty good hockey right now. They were kind of off to a slow start. They're turning it around. They're only 4 points back of the Bruins. They got a game in hand. I mean, Tampa doesn't look like Tampa. So I'm gonna say I think the Leafs win that division.
I think so too. I don't think it's an overreaction either. I think, the Bruins are like you said, they're 4 points behind, right? They even have a game at hand. They're scoring
Yeah.
goals. They're still letting in, excuse me, a lot of goals. The Toronto Maple Leafs, that is. I think though, in the long run, I think the Toronto Maple Leafs have the players to get the job done. Even if they do win the division, I still don't think they're gonna do anything in the playoffs. But
Yeah,
that's a different story, right?
Yeah.
But Nylander's playing out of his mind as well. It's also a contract year for him, right? So
Yeah.
I think they can win the division, but Boston's not going to give up that spot easly, right?
No.
Florida, like you said, Tampa Bay is not who they used to be. I still think they'll make the playoffs for sure, but Florida too. Kachuk's not doing that well for them. I know he's not the only player on the team, but yeah, I could see Toronto, winning the division for sure.
I would say so too. I mean, every time you look at a Leafs box score, it seems like Matthews has a 2-goal game. So
yeah, I don't know.
I'll give him his props. As much as we shit on him sometimes, he's a fantastic hockey player.
He's a superstar in this league.
Yeah,
he is. That core for Tavares, Nylander, Marner, and Matthews. Yeah, they're incredible players. Even though I don't want to say that. All right, next on our list, Joe. Next statement: the Minnesota Wild, will they make the playoffs? Over or under reaction? They will make the playoffs. Excuse me.
Yeah. They will. I think they will
You
make the
think they will make
playoffs.
the playoffs?
Yeah. Well, they started off slow. They were 8-10-4, I think, in their first to start the year. Now they're 7-3 in their last 10. They've won 3 in a row. Guys, the Kaprizov now is finally taking off. He was off to a slow start. Zuccarello's having a great year. So is Eric Sinek. And also, you look, the last 2 wild card spots right now are being held by the Predators and the Arizona Coyotes. The Coyotes, that's a phenomenal story to start the year for them. But I think when it's all said and done, the Wild are just too talented of a team, and I think they'll make the playoffs along with the Edmonton Oilers as well. Now, I know we're not talking about the Oilers, but I'll just group them in there with the Wild.
I was going to mention the Oilers because I was going to say I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I think it's an overreaction for them making the playoffs. And I'll say that, to piggyback what you were talking about the Oilers, is that they dug themselves too deep of a hole at the beginning of the season. Those are important points. I mean, it's always important to win the game, right? But, right now they're missing Zuccarello as well. They're 7-3 in their last 10 games. Obviously, the bringing in Coach Hines has changed, the team. Obviously, they're winning now. I will also say that people forget, about the buyouts, right? Of Suter and Parisi. I think we always pronounce his name wrong. I always say Parise, but I think it's actually pronounced Parisi.
I say Parise.
People forget, all that money on the books, right? And, it's pretty incredible the team that Bill Guerin has put on the ice, being, I guess you could say, handicapped because of that. And they have been playing, they always were a team to be reckoned with in the past. But right now, I don't think they'll make the playoffs. I don't.
So we're going to agree to disagree there. I think they're good enough to be a playoff team.
I know we were mentioning off camera. I don't know if you said it right now, but they're 2 points right behind the wild card spot, and those 2 spots are the Predators and the Arizona Coyotes, right? So you kind of see the Wild and the Oilers sneaking in, but I don't know. I don't know if it's too little, too late. You know what I mean?
Well, when you look at the standings, there's also the Blues are in the bubble. There's the Flames, the Kraken. I don't think the Blues, the Kraken, the Flames are getting in. So I really think the Wild, the Oilers, but come March, April are going to be in the probably the final 2 wild card spots there.
I hope they make the playoffs because Kaprizov is one of my favorite players to watch at the moment in the NHL. He's almost, I guess you can say, he reminds me of Pavel Bure a little bit. Not to that extent, but the way he plays is just so much fun to watch. And Joe, we got our last statement here. And it's about the New York Islanders. And the statement is: are they for real?
They're not for real.
When I mean are they for real, I think they'll make the playoffs. But when I say are they for real, is are they a cup contender? Not just a playoff contender, but are they a cup contender?
I don't know if it's maybe the lack of star power on the team, or that every year, they're kind of hovering around. They'll make the playoffs, but then they don't really make much noise. They're not really, a sexy team, I guess you can say. But
perfect way of putting it.
They could probably make the playoffs. I don't think they're really going to make much noise. So I don't think the Islanders are for real. What do you say?
Okay. I think they are for real. I do. Okay. Now, I think I said it before in another video of ours that they're a weird ass team, man. The Islanders, like you said, as you said, they're not a sexy team. If you look on paper, there's no one that really stands out. I mean, obviously there's the likes of Barzal, but
they have a really good goalie.
Yeah, Sorokin. Now, exactly. Sorokin. I mean, he's definitely consistent. And how do I say? So, Barzal so far this year, he's been a point per game guy, right? Now, every time I always count them out of the playoffs, they always make it. So I'm not going to underestimate them this year, okay? That's why I say that they are for real. Now, right now at the moment, they have 2 significant injuries. Adam Pelech and Ryan Pulock, who are their 1 and 2 defensemen, right? Also very underrated defensemen. No one talks enough about them. And Adam Pelech has been injured since November 25th and Ryan Pulock since December 8th. Now, in that span of games, they would still manage to missing their number 1 and 2 defensemen. Still got 8 wins out of the 13. Yeah, which is incredible. You know what I mean? I don't know if
they're getting good performance from Noah Dobson there on the back end.
Exactly. The emergence of Noah Dobson. Because no one talks about the Islanders. No one talks about how good their defensemen are. So for that reason, I do think they are for real.
Okay.
But
they have, I don't know, they played 33 games. They only have 16 wins. They have 9 overtime losses, Those are
okay. Yes,
it's hard to judge the Islanders. Yeah, but I'm also factoring in that Carolina right now is kind of not playing up to their standards. Sort of Devils, and those are teams behind them.
The
So
Phillies
I
right
mean,
behind them, and no one expected
Philly
that either,
also,
right?
Philly also. I Philly's another good, nice little surprise this year.
That Metropolitan Division is really weird. I mean,
Yeah, it
Pittsburgh's. I
is.
don't think
It
Pittsburgh's
is.
gonna make it. The Devils. I
No.
mean, much like the Detroit Red Wings, like they're up and down. I don't know what to think about them at the moment. I thought they were gonna be good. So, Carolina as well. Yeah, they're not. They're definitely underperforming. But I don't know. There's something about the Islanders. I don't know why. No one talks
Before
about it.
before the
Never
season, I
underestimated.
mean, the consensus. What was the consensus before the season? That it was probably going to be what the Rangers,
Rangers,
the Devils,
Devils,
and then Hurricanes,
Carolina.
the top
Yeah,
three.
exactly.
And now you have like Washington. I think is playing above what we expected. The
Yeah,
Flyers we mentioned, the Islanders we mentioned. Even though I don't think they're for real, I know they could probably make the playoffs, the Islanders. But yeah,
yeah. Right
to
now, like
me, go ahead.
no, well, yeah, like right now, as the wild card spot is Tampa Bay and Washington. I mean, I think maybe Washington could get out of there and Carolina's gonna take over. I think Islanders are more for real than Philly is. That's for sure. So I mean,
I would agree with that. Yeah, I
so
would agree with that.
let's say you take out Philly and you take out Washington and you put in Carolina Devils, which is what probably everyone thought.
Yeah,
So Pittsburgh's not there. So yeah, look, I think they're for real. Uh, we'll see. We'll see. We could be
yeah.
wrong, but
Well,
I hope I'm right. But look, guys, let us know in the comments what you guys think about our statements so far and off these four teams. And until then, have yourself a swell evening.